Hello everyone, welcome to TTV News with some latest events in the Ninh province. And now coming to details. Ladies and gentlemen, after 2 days of urgent and hard working, with a spirit of democracy and high responsibility, the first meeting of the 10 People Council of the Ninh province, term 2021-2026, closed in the afternoon of July 1st, completing the work progress according to the plan. Mr. Nguyễn Thành Tâm, Secretary of the Provincial Party Committee, Chairman of the Provincial People Council, Ms. Nguyễn Đại Thi, and Mr. Nguyễn Thành Phong, Vice Chairman of the Provincial People Council, co-chaired the closing session.
At the meeting, the Provincial People's Council heard and highly agreed on the report of election results of the Provincial People's Council deputies and results substantifying the status of a member of the 10 Provincial People's Council term of 2021 to 2026, presented by the Provincial Election Committee. The synthesis announcement on opinions and recommendations of voters at the meeting with candidates for the 10 Provincial People Council term of 2021 to 2026 submitted by the Provincial Phalanx Front Committee at the meeting. Also at this meeting, the Provincial People Council also received, discussed and approved the assessment of the implementation of the socio-economic development tasks in the first 6 months of the year, orientations and key tasks in the last 6 months of 2021, and other important contents. In the context of the re-emergence of COVID-19 pandemic and complicated developments, the Provincial People's Council appreciates the direction and administration of the Provincial People's Committee in implementing the dual goal while drastically preventing the COVID-19 pandemic, at the same time maintaining and developing social economy, stabilizing the people's lives, ensuring the good performance of social control tasks, taking care of policy benefit carriers, people in meritorious services and social protection benefit carriers, national defense and security are kept stable. Immediately after the meeting, the Chairman of the Provincial People Council suggested that the agencies of the People Council, Provincial People's Committee, department agencies and branches and localities, also the delegates of Provincial People's Council, should complete the procedures and documents to submit to the competent authorities to approval of key positions of People Council and Provincial People's Committee in accordance with the law, soon stabilized in terms of organization in order to effectively perform the functions, tasks and powers prescribed by the law. The Provincial People's Committee needs to focus on drastically directing, accelerating administrative reform, effectively implementing the resolution of the digital transformation program, creating a truly open and favorable environment to promote the potential strength of the province and better serve for the people, organizations, and businesses. And also in the first working section of the 10 Provincial People's Council term of 21 to 2026, in the afternoon of July the 1st, Mr. Nguyễn Thành Ngọc, Chairman Provincial People's Committee, gave a speech explaining and clarifying the contents that the delegations discussed in the previous discussion. Accordingly, regarding the report of the implementation of the socio-economic development plans in the first 6 months of the year and the key tasks in the last 6 months of 2021, despite being affected by the COVID-19 epidemic, our province has achieved many positive results. The Ninh province economy continued to grow by 7% higher than the planned. The budget's revenue achieved modest results due to the impact of the pandemic, but reached 55.2% of the estimate, an increase of 21% over the same period, of which domestic revenue reached over 5 trillion Vietnam dong. Regarding administrative reform, the last administrative reform index in 2020, our province increased by 17 rank compared to 2019. The effectiveness of state management has been increased also. The results also show that the Ninh is developing sustainably. In the 5-year financial plan from the 2021 to 2025 period, the Ninh Provincial People's Committee also set a goal to sustainable development, restructure state budget revenues in the direction of increasing the proportion of revenues from production, business and services, reduce the proportion of revenue from land use, lottery and other budget revenues. The Provincial People's Committee also offers sustainable solutions, which are actively improving the investment environment, reform administrative procedures, making public transparent mechanisms, policies and information on the state budgets, creating favorable conditions for investment conditions to develop enterprises of all economic sectors, especially the private sectors.
Vietnam's export maintained a positive growth rate in the first 5 months of 2021. However, specific measures are required to promote export given to the resurgence of COVID-19 in Vietnam and similar developments in other countries.
According to the General Statistics Office of Vietnam, the country export reached an estimated about 131 billion US dollar in the first 5 months of the year, an increase of 30.7% compared to a year ago. The domestic sector contributed to about 33 billion US dollar and FDI sector contributed with 98 billion US dollar, a year-on-year increase by 16.6% and about 36.3% respectively. Since mid-2020, garment and textile, leather and footwear sectors have maintained their export growth despite supply disruption, meaning that Vietnamese businesses have been actively in seeking alternative supply sources of raw materials and have made good use of incentives provided by free trade agreements. Vietnam also needs to avoid the application of large-scale social distancing measures in order to prevent disruption to supply and production chains. In addition, it is necessary to facilitate business access to the government support packages. And according to a representative of the Tay Ninh Department of Industry and Trade since 2015, the industry promotion program of Tay Ninh province has contributed to increasing the proportion of industry in the province's economic structure. The effectiveness of the program has dramatically changed both production and quality of rural industrial products, thereby increasing the proportion of industry in the province's economic structure from 34% in 2015 to 48% in 2020. The result was attributed to the support of Provincial People's Committee through relatively stable funding located for the industry promotion activities. From 2015 to 2020, the industry promotion received nearly 29.2 billion Vietnam dong, in which the Industry and Trade Promotion Center has implemented 220 industry promotion projects. Much of the funding was spent on the building technical demonstration models and application of advanced machineries and equipment by 96% direct benefit carriers, gradually improving the production capacity of the rural industrial sector. In the meantime, the People's Committee of the Tay Ninh Province approved the Industry Propulsion Plan of the 2021 to 2025 period, which calls for mobilizing all resources to create a new impetus for the development of industrial and craft production. The total estimated budget for the implementation of the plan is about 300 billion Vietnam dong, which includes in-state budgets, reciprocal funding by rural industrial establishments, and other funding sources. The funding will prioritize the transfer and application of science and technology, cleaner production in order to improve the efficiency of raw materials and fuel use, access to new technologies, digital economic development, and improve the productivity, quality, and competitiveness. And ladies and gentlemen, the good news has come to cassava farmers in the province when it's harvest season. Cassava not only gives high yield but also has a high price. In the first months of the year, the weather is considered to be quite favorable for the growth and development of cassava. Along with that, the leaf mosaic disease on cassava has basically reduced. The infection rate is only mild, so the use of cassava has been increased, fluctuating in a range of 15 to 25 tons per hectare. High yield plus the purchase price of raw cassava is also a high level and fluctuating in the range of about 3,000 to 3,400 Vietnam dong per kilograms, which makes farmers quite excited. According to farmers, due to the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the import of cassava from Cambodia is limited, while the demand for raw materials for processing factories is a high level, so the purchasing price of cassava is also good at the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, excited with the success of the election, voters in Tay Ninh have more confidence in the person they voted from the ballot. The first session of the People Council of Tay Ninh Province for 2021-2026 term were interested by voters and had high expectation for the delegate.
Mr. Lê Văn Hùng in Ward 2, Tay Ninh City, waits to watch via TV 11 live on the opening section of the People Council of Tay Ninh Province for the term of 2021 to 2026. And like Mr. Hùng, many voters in the area said that they had lively discussion and expected the delegates to perform their roles and make efforts to make decisions beneficial to the country as well as the people. The expectation of each voters in the National Assembly and the People Council deputies at all levels for the term of 2021 to 2026 demonstrates the people's confidence in the state authority, deciding important local issues, localities contributing to the general development of the province and for the prosperous, happy life of the people. I'm excited and confident with my delegates and the voters who have been chosen, and I hope that the young delegates, qualified delegates, will perform well their responsibility. At the opening of the first section of the Provincial People's Council deputies for the 2021-2026 term and hoping for a successful new term, calling for investment in localities, projects and planning that have not been implemented for a long time will be deleted, creating mechanisms and policies for the businesses to develop. A new term begins in 2021, which is the first year the whole country implements the resolution of the 13 National Party Conference and the resolution of the 11 Provincial Party Conference, a Provincial Party Committee, the beginning of the journey of the 5-year plan. And for 52 delegates of the People Council of Tay Ninh Province received the task for a new term while the COVID-19 pandemic situation has highly impact on the economy and the social life of the people, and there will be many challenges. The workload of the people's deputies will not be small, but Tay Ninh people and the voters are always confident in their deputies. The first meeting of the Provincial People's Council for the term of 2021 to 2026 has wrapped up and put a first step for the government and the people of Tay Ninh to work together towards the goal of striving for a sustainable development of Tay Ninh Province.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today TTV News. Thank you for joining with us and see you next time.